India, the birthplace of a civilization that is over 5,000 years old, home to over 1.3 billion people, a treasure trove of secrets, mysteries, folklore, and mythology.
A land with a civilization so rich and flourishing and vast that even a lifetime is not enough to see it all. In this short documentary film, my partner Anish Ganesh Kodre and I, Kabir Ahmed Merchant, will try to give you a glimpse of Indian culture, to show you what it is to be an Indian and why we as Indians should be proud of our heritage.
For this project, we have picked the state of Gujarat, a colourful state in western India, teeming with natural grandeur, handicrafts, sculptures, art, and festivals. This film is divided into two parts. Part 1 will be about some toys that are unique to Gujarat and Indian culture and how they are, like almost everything else in our lives, deeply scientific in their creation. Part 2 focuses on the Jhulta Minar, a mysterious pair of minarets in Ahmedabad. Cultural heritage, embodied in traditional crafts, is an integral part of any nation as it reflects the culture and tradition of a particular region. One such craft that is native to the state of Gujarat is a toy locally known as Pakshi or pecking birds. This is a very interesting toy that is rooted deeply in Indian culture. It is handcrafted skillfully by artisans in the markets of Ahmedabad, like almost every other folk toy. These toys date back hundreds of years to the medieval ages. This shows us two important things. Firstly, that physics is universal and stays the same no matter what time period you are in. Second, it shows the importance of culture in the Indian population. Despite being hundreds of years old, the technique of making these toys is the same. It shows us how elders pass on their cultural beliefs and traditions onto future generations for their preservation. This particular toy is based on the application of principle of center of mass. Strings from the figurines go through the platform and are connected to a bob or clay ball that hangs under the platform. The movement in this toy are achieved largely through the shift in center of gravity of a particular mass. It consists of clay balls, some strings and other moving parts along with the wooden hens themselves. How it works is that when the platform is moved slightly using the handle, the center of mass of the system changes and tension is created in one of the strings. This causes the hens to start pecking.
The spinning top, an integral part of everyone's childhood and a part of the Indian toy culture for hundreds of years. This is one of the most popular toys from Indian culture and is also very scientific in its creation and play style. As a child, all of us would have wondered how the spinning top actually works. Well, now that we are science students, we can finally answer this question. The top is perfectly crafted with a calculated center of mass that can make the top balance perfectly. Without getting into advanced physics and mathematics, let's take a look at some of the basic forces that make a top spin. As it spins in its upright position, it rotates around an invisible vertical axis. The principle of conservation of angular momentum holds that the top would keep spinning indefinitely if there were no other external forces acting upon it. However, that is not the case. Tops are never perfectly balanced and weighted. Moreover, the surfaces they spin on aren't perfectly level either. These imperfections allow other forces, including friction and gravity, to come into play. When it's spinning, a top balances on a tiny tip. This minimizes the amount of friction generated by its contact with the surface below it. Eventually, though, friction will begin to slow the top's spin. When this occurs, the top begins to wobble, demonstrating a scientific principle called precession. As it begins to wobble, the axis of the top tilts to the side, which allows the force of gravity to exert a force known as torque on the top. The effect of the torque is to create additional spin while also causing the top to precess or swing outwards. As the top's spin continues to slow, it precesses faster in an attempt to conserve its total angular momentum. This is why the wobbling gets worse right before it falls and comes to a stop. When we are playing with the top, we convert the top's potential or stored energy into kinetic energy, or the energy of motion. In the earlier days, these tops were made using wood, but now, with the advent of modern science and the discovery of new materials, we can see tops made from plastic and even some metals. These plastic tops are cheaper than the wooden tops because of the cheap nature of plastic and because of the fact that plastic tops can be manufactured easily and more efficiently in factories.
The Sidi Bashir Mosque is a former mosque in the city of Ahmedabad in Gujarat. Today, only the central gateway and two minarets have survived, and they are known as the Jhulta Minar or shaking minarets. It's been built in such a manner by the craftsmen that if one of the minars vibrates or shakes, then the other one duplicates the force too, and hence it vibrates. The reason behind this force of action is still unknown, and the Jhulta Minar has become a famous tourist spot to explore.
We decided to include this anomaly in our project to show that science cannot explain everything, and in some matters, all we can do is theorize. There are multiple theories and explanations surrounding this oddity. If one tower vibrates, the other tower vibrates too. What if something was connecting them? There is a passage that connects the two minarets. Researchers have studied the passage and found that even when the minarets vibrate, the passageway in between them stays vibration free. How does one know whether a certain area is vibrating? Well, you simply place a glass of water there. If small waves are created in the water, it means that the surface where the glass is kept is vibrating.
The most notable theory of all of them is the one that explains that this phenomenon may be occurring due to damped vibrations that are transferred from one minaret to the other due to layered construction, since the other minar vibrates with the same frequency after some time. Sandstone is used heavily in building this structure, and sandstone, being porous, is able to transfer these vibrations to a great extent. Others speculate that there is an underground column that connects the two minars and is responsible for transferring these vibrations.
However, this is still a theory and has not been proven completely, so we may never know exactly why this particular phenomenon happens at the Sidi Bashir Mosque in Ahmedabad, Gujarat.